it. All right? We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about my backdrop is not our normal. We're not going to talk about any of that. Nope. Nope. Okay, that's a damn lie. So, I just spilled the end of my coffee drink on my other thing. So, what we will not be doing is using that as a backdrop. That's what we will not be doing tonight. So I'm sorry and shit that I'm clumsy. I am sorry. Oh God, I'm trying to spill more stuff. I haven't spilled enough stuff today, apparently. Good gravy. And this is why I have a small desk. And it works against me because I don't have a lot of space on my desk. But the purpose of having a small desk, okay, the purpose is that I will not put a whole lot of stuff on it. It does not work. It does not. But I try. So, all right, we're back to Sockland. Now we're going on to the legs. Everybody's right. We got our heels in. Hooray! So now I get to take these socks off these needles so I can get back to the legs. I'm late today because I ran out of time and then I realized, hey, did you know that your did you know that your what do you call it? Your phone is dying. Did you know that? I was like, I did not know that. No. And my phone's like, well, I'm dying, so I'm gonna need you to plug me in. I'm like, great. That's fucking great. It's grand and fantastic. So here we are. Just very slowly, very carefully moving these stitches from the metal needles to the wooden ones. Actually, you know what would probably be way easier? Shut up, brain. Should just knit them off the needle. Usually I just move them, okay? Because when I'm putting them on these, I don't want to knit them onto these, okay? But that, honestly, that's probably easier. Look, I'm having a hard time right now. All right? I'm having a hard time. Good, googly moogly. So we're just gonna stop. We're just gonna stop. Because I can't even right now. I can't even. So, speaking of I can't even, things are getting like steadily worse, right? At the shop. It's awesome, by the way. It's awesome. It's great. Now, here's the thing. It's getting worse for me, but it's getting worse for everybody else much more. I'm avoiding the lion's share of the bullshit because apparently I'm unpleasant to deal with. Okay. So here's the thing with that, right? Cupcake, and this is, I'm theorizing here. My theory is that Cupcake, like so many cis-het white men, is used to receiving certain things, certain privileges, certain reactions, what have you, right? And it is my experience as a femme presenting person who was also socialized thusly that when they don't get what they're used to, there's a couple of reactions you get. Sometimes the reaction you get is utter indignation. How very dare you not give me what I feel entitled to? And then the, wounded bird, right? Like, oh, gasp, pearls clutched. So that happens. And sometimes that indignation is just like shock. Like, what? Like, what? What do you mean I can't have this thing that I want just because I want it? As anybody who's ever been catcalled or hit on or like had somebody come on to them can say, specifically, again, femme presenting people who have cis het, men talk to them. You can also be met with violence or anger. And the anger can turn into violence, right? Now, I would say because this is a work situation, like that's the least of my worries. I'm not saying that is not something that could happen. And I'm sure it absolutely fucking could. But I don't think that that's Cupcake's style. I think they're more of the gripe anonymously to their friends and to anybody who will listen, but not like an outward expression of anger directed like at the source, right? Because what's happening for me is that Cupcake is avoiding me. He's avoiding me because I'm not giving him the reaction that he wants, I'm guessing. And he's not giving me the reaction that he expects. And I think he doesn't know what to do with that. That's just a guess. Now, another manager from another store who has filled in at our store before, because that's just seems to be his role. He ends up like randomly filling in places, right? He, Gumby and I, he stopped by, and Gumby and him and I were talking, and he hasn't heard the whole thing. So I was like, oh man, you get a kick out of this. And he's like, well, if I told you the same thing, you would also not care. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why this whole thing is confusing to me. Like, in reality, my reaction, it's not personal. It's not about him. I just don't care. Like, I just don't care. But the thing with me is, I don't have to care to do my job. I just need to physically be able to do it. And I don't know that I said that to him. I don't know that even if I did say it to him that he believed me. And I understand that a lot of people, if they don't care, they just won't do it at all. And I'm not like that. Like, if something needs doing and I'm the person who's got to do it, I mean, won't fucking want to do it, okay? Right? I won't. I might be grumbly and irritated, but I'll do it. I'll do it because it's my fucking job, right? It's my job. That's it. That's the whole of it. Like, my personal feelings about whatever it is I have to do don't fucking matter. Because my personal feelings have no bearing on the fact of whether something needs to be done or not. If it needs to be done, it needs to be done. This is also an argument or an issue I had with my ex-husband. He would do stuff he didn't want to do and grumble when I was like, I'm not doing it. And like, me saying I'm not doing it has nothing to do with whether it needs to be done or not. And he couldn't seem to wrap his head around that. And I was just like, what? Like, what the fuck's going on, man? I don't know. And that just really confused the living shit out of me. All right. Because, what? Like, I get it. There are people who, if they don't want to do something, they won't do it at all. There are people who, if they don't like doing something, they're not going to do it. I am not one of those people. Now, I may prioritize something differently if I don't want to do it, right? But again, that has no bearing on whether it needs to be done or not. There's lots of stuff that I don't want to do that still needs doing that I end up doing. Why? Because it needs to get done, and I'm the one who's got to do it. And that's it. That's it. And would it be great if I loved what I did? Oh, yes, it would be fantastic. And as we speak, I'm doing something that I love, so I'm good, right? I got something. I'm not relying on my day job for fulfillment or enjoyment, right? Like, I'm not. And so I'm good to go. Now, if I was, oh gosh, I'd be in trouble, right? Because I'm not going to get it there. But I have something that I do. I have something that I do that I enjoy. And so fucking, there we go. So I'm relying on my day job to pay my bills. That's literally it. I don't get any satisfaction out of it. I don't get any enjoyment out of it. I don't hate it specifically. There are things about it I don't like. There are things I don't want to do. But yeah. Now, what I will say is when we get to the end of the day, like when I've been in 90 some degree heat. Oh yeah, no, at the end of the day, you can fuck yourself. I'm not doing stuff. That's that. Yeah. But again, that still doesn't mean that the stuff doesn't need to be done. And it doesn't mean that in the end, I might not end up having to do it anyway. I mean, if I don't want to do something and I end up not having to, I mean, cool, awesome, because yay. But, you know, my feelings aren't going to be hurt if I have to end up doing something, because that's just how it is. That's just how it is. And I can accept that. Because again, I'm not relying on that job to like fulfill me or make me happy or anything like that. So me not having those feelings about the job really has no effect on it. Like, that's fine. That's totally fine. So, okay, I don't know when I last talked to y'all. The new guy, whose name I finally now know, and he's just going to be mentioned as the new guy, like, for the remainder of always. The new guy moves slower than I do. Deliberately. I move at a steady pace, like in reality, right? I move at a steady, even pace. Like sometimes I move a little bit faster, and the time that that's going to happen is like at the beginning of the day, right? But, and that's just because you haven't worn me out yet, right? I'm not to the point where I can't even. And so, yeah, sure, I have a little more pep in my step, as they say, right? Oh my God, hold on. I'm trying to get to my Post-its that are like, I'm never going to come off of this thing. I'm like, what do you mean? And it's like, never. Okay. So now I gotta find a place to put said Post-it so I can write things on it. Because we are making the progress. Anyway. So. Anyway. I've been giving this a lot of thought because I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. Now, let's just expound a little bit on what I'm talking about. Cupcake has asked Gumby and Juice to ask me to do things. Okay, we're just going to pause for posterity here. The store manager has asked 2 people at lower ranks to him, but higher than me, because I'm at the bottom of the barrel, to ask me or tell me something. Are you kidding me? What? I've looked at the new guy. I looked at Juice, I looked at Gumby, and I'm like, are you serious? And Gumby was like, dude, that's not my job. Like, you're in charge. You do it. And the thing with it is, I don't know. I guess he thinks I'm gonna fucking castrate him, which I don't know. Maybe if he looks at me sideways, I will. I don't know. But like for real, my thing is, you're in charge of me. At the end of the day, I have to do what you tell me to do. I don't have to fucking like it. I don't have to smile at you. I don't have to be happy about it. I just have to do it. That's it. And following that, as long as I physically can, and I have the time and energy to do it, I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Whatever, dude. And I don't know. I'm fucking disgruntled as fuck, okay? I'm an angry person. I'm a fed up person. But that doesn't mean I can't and won't do my job. I have done a lot of things in my life that I don't like doing. So, whatever. But I don't know. I'm not the kind who's gonna grin about something I don't like doing. Like, I'm not. I'm also not gonna like outwardly complain about it, like depending on what it is. Like, if I run into a bunch of problems, like with the tire, yeah, you're probably gonna hear me walking around the shop saying, "Son of a bitch." Why? Because I'm struggling with something. I'm having, and I can yell at the tire, right? Like when I go back to the medical field, I'm not going to be able to outwardly grumble. I'm going to have a fucking poker face basically all the time. It's going to be exhausting. I already know this. I'm not looking forward to that. That part of the job is going to be hard for me to do. It really is. It is. Because I'm not going to put it on a happy face for anything. I'm going to have a neutral face. Unfortunately, my neutral face looks bitchy. So there's that. This is so fucking funny though. This is killing me. So on Friday, which was my last day, no. It was Saturday. It was Saturday. Okay, on Saturday, which was yesterday. I'm really discombobulated. I'm sorry. On Saturday, at the end of the day, this motherfucker comes up to me and is like, "Hey, if you get time, if you can you do this?" And I'm just thinking, "What? Like what?" And I went up to the new guy and I told him what happened. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, he asked me to do it." And I was like, I can't pick that shit up." And I was like, I mean, that's fine, but what I don't understand is why he phrased it like that. Like, what is he going to do if I had said no? I have no idea. I'm curious. Like, now I kind of want to just say no and then just wait, like, pause, like, 10 seconds. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm just kidding. That's fine, whatever. And just see what he does. I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, I don't. But I kind of want to. just to watch his brain short circuit, because I feel like that's what's going to happen. He's not going to be able to handle it. Now, okay, I could be right, completely wrong about this guy. Right, he could be maybe at the end of his rope and like super pissed at me, and like his way of dealing with it is to avoid me, because like if I push back he's gonna get pissed off and he knows it's gonna get him fired, and he knows that because I'm a female I could say something to get him fired just for that reason, or some bullshit like that, right? Which tells you how well he knows me. He doesn't, because that's not my MO. I'm not gonna feign wounded bird. I'm going to snap at you like a fucking crocodile. Okay? This is going to happen. So, I'm not going to go run to the person above you and say, "Oh my God, he yelled at me." No, I don't need to do that. I got teeth, motherfucker. I'll just fucking bite. I'll let you get close enough to poke at me, and I'll rip your arm off. I'll do it my damn self. I'll handle it. And part of that is just because I'm ornery. Okay? Like a crocodile, right? But also, I already know that the person immediately above him, one, is really good buddies with him, and two, is very passive and is not going to actually do anything about it. Like if I said, this guy is a problem, his answer would be like, well, I can move you to another store. And I'd be like, no, you can't. And he'd probably be like, what? I'm like, I am not getting paid enough to commute any fucking farther than I am. So you're going to have to try again. And then I'm going to be like, just so you know, your little friend here is complaining about the commute. So you should probably move him here and move whoever the fuck is at a store closer to him, move them over here. Which wouldn't go well. I don't think he'd want to do that. But that's about the reaction I'd give him. And again, I don't think he'd appreciate it. I also don't think I would care. Okay? Like I don't have to care. This is fucking hilarious. This has been like a source of amusement for me like all weekend. So, the other thing that happened on Saturday, right? Mind you, this guy has been gone, okay, like for an entire week. He took a week's vacation, right? And he came back on Saturday. And when I walked in and I saw him there, I was like, son of a bitch. I looked at Gumby and I was like, damn it. He's like, I know. I'm like, ah. Like, ah. So, and we're going to put a pin in this thought. Anyway, so all throughout the day, this guy also has said stuff to me in a low tone, kind of like this, and walking away from me. Okay, for all of you out there on the internet, I'm partially deaf. If you do not project your voice, I also have auditory, like, processing issues too. So sometimes I will absolutely fucking full on hear you, but my brain will not translate what the fuck you said to me. Like, I know that you made sound with your face at me. Like, I know you did. But I couldn't put it into something I could understand. And sometimes it's more like my brain is buffering. So, like, I heard you and I understood the words, but, like, the meaning didn't come through yet. Like, I'm waiting on a really slow internet connection. And then all of a sudden my brain catches up and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I'm good. I got you. I understand what you said now. Hey, yay, neurodivergence. Hooray. So there's that, right? There's that. I don't know. And sometimes I disassociate and I just leave the present physical wherever I am and I'm gone, and then like I know I'm gone because I come back. And it's like I know I'm asleep because I woke up. Like it's this weird change of state that it's just weird. Okay, it's just fucking weird. And I don't really need to do with that information other than, well, all right then. guess this is what we're doing. Anyway, yeah. So, every time he said something to me in that way, I did not acknowledge him. I did not answer him in the affirmative because I didn't hear him. I don't know what he said to me. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to do something if I don't know what you said to me. Okay? Okay? I'm not going to do that. Because that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, we're going to do some math real quick, by the way. I'm not going to answer you in the affirmative. I'm not going to agree to something. I'm going to sign the box if I didn't read the document, okay? I'm just not. Because that doesn't make any damn sense. All right? It doesn't. It does not make any sense. And so what I need to do is I need to see how many stitches I have at this point. because, yeah. I'm realizing I don't know right now, and that's what we're going to pause so I can figure that out, because I know where I was at, like, here, right? So, I know that. Alright, so Pearl Jacks. So the toe box was that many, and then I need to do to round 62. So I guess what we need to do, and then to round 62, and then to 72, and this is going to be plus heel. Oh no, we're going to read round to 72. Okay, and then we're going to do, this is going to be round 72 plus heel. Okay. Yeah, I'm really confused. Like, oh, okay, so this includes the toe and the heel. We're gonna make sure, though, because I feel like I don't know if these answers, if these are right, because I don't know. So, hold here. Hold and thank you. Because this says this many stitches, but I want to double check. Because usually what I do is I count, like, this is our 73. Or 73.
What's this? What's this?
Oh my god, are you kidding me? I'm so sorry, y'all. I thought I turned the sound off. Apparently not. Like, apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Alright. But I'm just really confused. I'm really confused as to what this guy's fucking problem is. Like, he sounds like, honestly, whoops, let's just knock stuff over. He sounds like a coward to me. And I do have to say, I don't respond well to cowards. Because I don't. I don't like people who are cowardly. Because a lot of people who are cowardly basically end up being bullies. And that's a hard no for me. Like, I am not going to let you bully me. And I'm not going to stand for you bullying other people either. I'm not going to stand for you walking all over me. I'm not going to stand for you thinking that you can cow me. Like, this, no. And I don't know. I guess all the nearest I can figure is this guy is entitled and is used to getting his way. And I'm not reacting, I guess, like he wants me to or expects me to. And so he doesn't know how to function. Like, I am throwing him for a loop. And he just, I guess I'm going to have to do this in a minute. I can't do it right now. So sad because my calculator on my computer was like, hey, I'm not doing this. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah. Hi, Lurky Lou. Anyway, I was trying to do math. It wasn't working. But, like, I don't know. I'm getting loads of enjoyment out of this, though. Because it's ridiculous. It's truly and utterly, to me, ridiculous that he is responding to me in this fashion as if, like, my opinion matters. Like, I'm not saying that it's cool to treat me like I'm not a person. No, not saying that at all. But, like, I don't have to be happy about anything. I don't. just have to do it. I can do that. I can totally do that. And hey, as somebody who's socialized female, I do that shit all the time. I'm a pro. Now, I'm going to say that I kind of got a compliment from Gumby. Gumby looked at me at some point last week, and he was like, I really wish I was like you. And I was like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Because the reason I'm like this is because I've had people try to step on me. The reason I'm like this is because I have to be staunch and steadfast. The reason I'm like this comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of problems, and you probably don't want those. Like, I have to fend for myself and defend myself and like step up, and I'm more of a preemptive strike kind of gal, you know, and I have to do that because it's like that's how I stay safe. That's how I minimize the amount of bullshit that I have to deal with. And Gumby's wifey, who is sassy and has an attitude, he's like, oh yeah, no, she said, you know, what you're saying. And I'm like, I mean, she's right. She's right. You should absolutely just like handle this no nonsense. And I said to him, I was like, dude, I mean, how much shit does your wife have to deal with? Like, I bet you I can count on one hand how much bullshit she puts up with. He's like, not a lot. And I'm like, exactly. And there's a reason for that. And that reason is because she's so, these are not the words I used, but this is what I meant. She's socialized as female. She presents thusly, and therefore she's now a target. She's a target for people who think she's a pushover. She's a target because of her apparent gender. She's a target because of the male gaze. I mean, she's a target. And so if she doesn't want to be walked on, she's got to yank that boot and put someone on their ass before they even, or walk away. I mean, there's lots of ways to deal with it. Me, I prefer to respond with aggression myself. Because if I am a crocodile and I snap at you, or you see me just like snap something in half, you will think twice about approaching me. And that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to look at me and say, you know what? I should not fuck with her, and walk around me. Maybe go the other way. Like I'm good with that reaction. Because then you're no longer a threat to me. And I am A-okay with you not being a threat. Like, I'm A-okay with that. Now, what I did say to Gumby, I said, look, if you're going to do this, you need to understand you're going to get some reactions you probably don't want to deal with. Like, you're going to be met with hostility. You're going to butt heads with people. Like, you're going to have issues with people that you probably don't want to have. But that's the trade-off. Like, if you're like this, you're going to get labeled certain ways. And that label can absolutely inconvenience you. But for me, personally, between me, you, and the internet, right? I'll prefer the disadvantages of that label over being a doormat. I told him in no uncertain words. I said, don't be a doormat, be a trapdoor. Fucking whip that shit out from under him. So this is where that came from. Gumby, when Gumby came to the company, which was before I got there, Gumby was promised by Jackass, the former store manager, was promised that he could have Sundays and Mondays off. Now, Sundays we don't happen to be open, but the point was he wanted 2 days in a row. Okay? And he wanted 2 days in a row because he wanted a weekend. And like, dude, I feel you. I'm right there with you. Now, at some point, Jackass left and blah, 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 this, that, and the other happened. And so it ended up that instead of him getting Saturdays off, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Jackass was like, oh, well, we have to have somebody here and like blah, blah, blah. And he probably fed him the same line that he gave me. He's like, well, I've had guys that are already here and they have to work all the Saturdays, so you're going to have to too. And I looked at him and I said, look, I can give you some Saturdays. I cannot give you every Saturday, and I will not. Because I have fucking kids. And I want to see my kids. And that's when I get to see them. So that's a no. And you're just going to have to deal with the fact that, like, every other Saturday, my ass ain't going to be here. Now, I have always had to work every other Saturday, which is the only reason why I was willing to compromise with that. Now, let me tell you, between me and the internet, no, did I want to work any Saturday? Oh, hell no. And if I could have figured out a way to not work every Saturday, oh, I damn well would have. Now, such that it was, because I work Saturdays, sometimes I have Mondays off. And I use Mondays to get all the shit done during, like, for the week that I need to do during the day. So if I have to call during business hours, I usually plan to do it on that day. So at this point, I won't, fuss or split hairs about it. Do I want to work 6 days every other week? Oh, hell no. I don't. But, is that how it is? Yep, sure is. So, whatever. Like, whatever. Well, he was supposed to have Sunday and Monday off. For whatever reason, I don't know if that was the case while he was there, but after he left, what was happening is there was only one person there on Mondays, and that was wife, and wife was getting wife's ass handed to her because she was the only one up front. Because there was no service manager, there was no store manager, there was no one there. Now, if there had been a store manager there, that absolutely would have made a difference. Because while 2 people is kind of the bare minimum of what you need up there, yeah. Like, yeah. 1 is not going to cut it. This is just fucking not. So, because wife needed help, Gumby stepped up and ended up coming in on Mondays to help. And I mean, that's what you do, right? That's how that ends up going. But he did not want to be there on Mondays. And because of the situation that Jackass created, that's exactly what ended up happening. So after a week of being off, an entire week straight of being off, Cupcake tells Gumby, I'm going to be taking Monday off. Gumby has been at the store by himself in the front, the only one doing things all fucking week. And let me just clarify that even when Cupcake is there, he doesn't help up front. So he's basically always the only one up there. Like, he pops in to do little things, but he does not step the fuck up. And the reality is, he doesn't want to. And me personally, fine. But because he doesn't want to, he just doesn't. Like, he doesn't recognize that something needs to be done, and whether you want to do it, it needs to get done, and you need to help. Like, he's not reacting in that way. And I gotta tell you, I don't know why. Like, the nearest I can say is this is I don't know, his age thing. Like, if he doesn't want to do something, he just won't do it. And I'm like, that's not how life fucking works, bro. Ow, I stabbed myself with my pen. Like, if something needs to be done, it needs to be done. Like, that's being an adult. Okay? It's not about your feelings. It's not about what you want to do. No, if something needs to be done, it just needs to be done. That's it. And the funny thing is, Juice is in his 40s, like mid-40s. Gumby is 40. I'm 37. And then Walter is, like, older than dirt, right? He's literally somebody's fucking grandfather, okay? So this is literally the youngest motherfucker in there. And wife is also in her 40s. And the Jackass had just turned 40. So, like, this guy is coming into a situation where he is, like, the youngest motherfucker in there. And, it shows. Oh, buddy, it shows. Oh, not to be ageist about it, but that's the only thing I can figure is the issue, is that is just a tendency of his generation of I don't want to, I don't like it, I'm not gonna. It's like, oh, how nice for you, sweetheart. How nice for you. It's not the world I grew up in. That certainly isn't the one I live in. So yeah. So I told Gumby, I said, look, Gumby's like, I don't want to come in on Saturday. I don't want to come in on Monday. I've been here all week. I'm fucking done. And I'm like, well, here's my unsolicited advice. Do not ask for Monday off. Okay, don't. Here's why. I knew that motherfucker was going to grease himself up and wiggle out of it. If he got any wind of it and had time to weasel himself out of it, he was going to. Why? Because that seems to be his MO. If he doesn't want to do something, he's gonna think of some way to get out of it. He's gonna make up some bullshit, some excuse. And the more time you give them, the easier planning it's gonna be for him to do this and like make it work. So I told Gumby, what you need to do right before you step out, or right before y'all are not literally in the same geographic location, whether he leaves first or you leave first, right before that, you need to say, I'm not going to be here on Monday. And you walk the fuck away. That is it. That is it. That's it. That's fucking it. You do not ask. You don't even give an ultimatum, because people are going to respond hostilely to that, as one would expect. No. You say, I am not going to be here. And that's the end of the fucking conversation. That's a whole goddamn sentence. Right? And look, the reason is because if you ask somebody to do something that they don't want to do, and you give them the option to say no, what do you think they're going to do, people? Come on now. Right? They're going to say no because they don't want to do it. And I think if you expect somebody to do something they don't want to do, you're barking up the wrong tree, okay? You can't be shocked. You can't be shocked that somebody said no to something they didn't want to do if you gave them the option to do so. Like, no. Like, no. Well, unfortunately, for whatever reason, this conversation between Gumby and Cupcake happens. Not before either of them leaves, but like in the middle of the day, early morning. Okay, like somewhere around 11 or so. Or maybe 1 or so. I don't fucking know. I wasn't paying attention to the time. I walked up to drop off a ticket, and while I was there, I was going to pick up some clarification. Yeah, I'm going to commit to that verbiage, by the way. Because there was something written there, and I was like, I don't know what this means. I don't know who wrote it. I knew that if it was Cupcake who wrote it, that I did not want to talk to him and did not want to ask him. And so I had already decided that I'm not dealing with this motherfucker, because that's not really a good idea. It's not a good use of my time. Because he's going to say something, he's going to piss me off. And I'm on my way out, y'all. Like, really, I'm on my way out. So my chill with people and their bullshit is no. Like, no. Okay? No. So I can't promise, if you push me, that I will not just snap a finger off. Okay? Like, I can't say that right now. I'm getting to the end of my patience with these people, specifically certain people. So yeah. Well, I am at the front desk. I am waiting for Gumby to come back out there so that I can, in fact, get this handled. At some point during this conversation, Cupcake takes a call in the office where they are. Now, mind you, the office door is open. And whatnot. Okay. And it kind of should be, because nobody's at the front desk. And so it's going to be a lot easier to hear the door if, like, there's somebody there. So they're talking. And the entire time he's talking, he's orchestrating his escape, is what he's doing. He's like, oh, well, and look, I wasn't dropping no eaves, Mr. Gandalf, okay? Like, I was not really strongly listening, because that would have taken effort that would have been obvious on my part, and I need to just, like, pick things up randomly that float to my ears, not look like I'm spying because I'm sneaky, and yeah. Anyway. Basically, he's like, well, I feel more comfortable in the back. I don't feel comfortable up here, but you've got this. Okay. So basically, he is prioritizing how he feels and what he wants over every and anything else, is what he's doing. And he doesn't care whether his employee is stressed out and worked, like, to the point of breaking. He doesn't care. And he's like, oh, I'm trying to keep everybody happy. And the thing with it is that, first of all, dude, no, that's not how that works. You can't keep everybody happy. No, you can't. It's not realistic. And you don't fucking need to. Right? What you do need to do is take care of your people. You need to make sure that they have what they need to succeed, right? And don't, it's not about keeping them happy. It's about setting them up for success and making sure they can actually do their job. You need to be supportive of your people. You do not need to keep them happy. And I don't even think that that's real. I don't even think he actually wants to keep his people happy. I think that's just a line he's fucking spouting. So Gumby, communicates that he needs 2 days in a row, and that's what he was hired, and that's what he expects to get. And I really wasn't paying strong attention. And as soon as Cupcake got on the phone, I went to the back. I looked at him, and I said, made a little, come here. I need you here. So I gave him, like, a way to escape. And I was like, what does this mean? Like, what is this? And he's like, confused, which means he's probably not the one who wrote it. And so I was like, well, I did this. This got done. According to him, this is what we're doing with this, which is nothing. And this other thing we don't touch. And there was one thing I forgot, as far as list of fluids. That I forgot. But there were 2 that I didn't mention, and one of them was the one I forgot. And he's like, no, that's pretty much it. And I said, all right, cool. So we're good. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. And I looked at him, and I was like, I fucking told you. Like, he weaseled out of it. So, guess who's not going to be there tomorrow? After being off for an entire week. Cupcake. Cupcake is not going to be there tomorrow. So Gumby has to be there tomorrow. Now, me and Juice and his wife told him, dude, don't fucking go in Monday. Like, don't. Don't fucking go in Monday. Okay? Like, don't. Like, don't. Like, do not. Because no. Like, because no. Because fucking no. Right? Like, don't do that. And Juice, the funny thing is, Cupcake asked Juice if he's going to be in Monday. Now, let's rewind. I don't know if we had this discussion, but Juice just had a death in the family. And is trying to manage that. And was being asked on the day that it happened, when he was coming back into work that day. Like, he left before I got there, right? And apparently all kinds of whatever bullshit had already been going on at the shop. But, like, he left before I got there. And Gumby was like, I don't know when he's coming back. And then asked me later in the day, well, like, hey, what happened? Because he didn't know why he left. He just said, hey, look, I've got to go. I'll be back, right? Maybe. Or at some point. Well, I messaged him, and I'm like, hey, are you okay? And he calls me. He's like, I'm not. My aunt died. And so he's trying to like deal with where his mom's at. I looked at Gumby and I said, he's not coming back. And I told him why. And he was like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, exactly. And I'm like, I told him, I'm like, I don't think he should come back. He needs to handle that. So, yeah. Like, he needs to handle that. And it is not reasonable when somebody's having family trials and troubles like that. And this is not, like, the only stuff this man's had to deal with over the course of like the last couple months. When somebody's dealing with shit, you need to give them some fucking grace. You need to step the fuck back. You need to let them handle stuff and not be hounding and haranguing them about, oh, when are you going to be back to work? I don't give a fuck. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool, people. Anyway. So when he said that, he was like, okay, yeah, no. Like, we're gonna redo the workload today. And he like rescheduled a bunch of appointments so that the two of us weren't swamped and he wasn't being like fucking buried up front. Which to me, that is the most responsible thing to do. Do not run your people ragged, because if you do, you're not going to keep your people. So he ends up popping in later and to get his tools, because right, he still has to make money, he still has to pay bills, and he still has personal clients he deals with, right? But like being up in there, being across town, not being like nearby when his family needs him was not going to work. And fuck, no, dude. So who's handling that? Our district manager talked to him, I want to say that day. If he didn't talk to him that day, the store manager, who, by the way, was not there, right, because he's still off, talked to him. And between the two of them, at different times, they both asked him, okay, so when are you coming back to work? The man just had a death in the family, y'all. Maybe back the fuck up. You know. Like seriously. Like, don't come at somebody with that shit. Well, I heard from him later. And he was like, yeah, I was about to give the DM a piece of my mind. And I'm like, dude, I don't blame you. Because that's bullshit. And when he came up, I gave him the skinny and all this other stuff that was going on. So apparently part of some of the, oh my fucking God, that happened is 2 customers came in, like, together. Like, it was a single car. And he came in and they were raising hell about something. And they came in raising hell, which was weird because, like, why you mad? Like, you're not even here yet and you're mad at us already. And what? So turns out